Well, good day and welcome to yet another straight up program with myself, Grantley. It's so good to have your company today. I am so excited because my guest on the program today is not a gospel singer. She's not a gospel artist, but she's been involved in the gospel industry for a very long time. I'm going to let her get into that. She is known as the Connector's Connector. She's a fixer. She's a producer. She's done some very outstanding things that you may not have heard of, but when you find out, you will be amazed. Let me tell you. So my guest is a friend. I class her as my friend. I met her probably about 2003, 2004 for the first time, and I think it.
Hey, Grantley, you have a great name. How you doing? It's great to be here.
Thank you so much, Neely. You have a fantastic name.
Thank you. I
So
appreciate that.
I am so grateful to God for this moment because you do so many things. You're so busy. At the moment, you're in your car, and if I believe right, you're on your way to the Stellars, right?
I'm on my way to Stellar Weekend. It kind of started last night, and then tonight it's the pre-show. Like they're giving away like the pre-awards, like the ones that won't be given away on the show. So they're giving away
Right.
those tonight. And then tomorrow's the big night, but there's a little bit of tea to pour that your viewers may care about. So Teresa Hairston, who owned a magazine called Gospel Today and The Score, and she used to be an executive at Benson Records and stuff like that, is marrying Don Jackson, who owns the Stellars. So their engagement party is tonight. So I'm going to that. Snap, 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 snap.
Snap, snap,
Yes.
snap, 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 snap.
So
Right.
that'll be
Okay.
fun to be able to celebrate them and everything that's going on in their lives. So I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. That sounds like a whole lot of fun. So you're just going
Yeah.
to what? You're just going to you working or you're just having a good
No,
time?
just going to
You're
have a
just
good time. Going to hang
you're
out.
just gonna have a good time. Okay.
Yeah, going to
Because
fellowship, see the same. Since pandemic, we haven't seen each other a lot. So every time you get together with people, it's like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in 3 years. I haven't seen you in so long. So it's like the big family reunion or gospel reunion or whatever you want to call it. It's a reunion of sorts. So
I
I'm
get you.
here for it.
I just did my dirty laundry on screen. I was changing the lower thirds of our names. But
Mm-hmm.
no one didn't see that. No one didn't see that. Neely,
Okay.
I am so grateful that I've got to get this time with you because I was like, all the things that were going on in the background, you getting Wi-Fi, blah blah blah. I'm on Neily Dickerson's time right now, and
Got a
I
phone that's got
I
me, it's giving
know
me Wi-Fi. So we're
you're
connected. We're
tethering.
connected.
You're
I'm
tethering.
tethering. That's it. I'm tethering.
You're tethering. Thank you so much. So Neely, one of the main reasons for this interview is because you're such an innovator and you've come up with something that is absolutely amazing. The top 40 gospel charts. There are other charts out there. Yes, we know this. All right. And we will
Mm-hmm.
get to your chart in a few moments. But before
Mm-hmm.
that, I want to give some background, put some meat on the bone. Now, let me say
Uh-oh.
this first of all. Neely, because I know you, right? You are
Mm-hmm.
such a humble person. You are so humble, and you don't like to, like put it out there. I do this and I do that, and look at me. But just so the viewers understand who we're dealing with here right now, I've decided that I need to sort of put it out there a little bit to add some weight to this interview. Okay, so let's get some backstory. On this person called Neily Dickerson. First of all, you have been around in the gospel industry for well over 2 decades. All
Oh
right.
Lord, I'm only 21, but
I know you
yes,
are. You look so good. God is blessing you.
it's amazing. He'll restore the years. He'll restore the years.
He's
Uh-huh.
restoring it. And you have done so much. I have witnessed a few things that you have done, but when I was doing my research, I was like, oh my God, did Neely really do that? I just can't believe it. So here's the thing about you, Neely. You've done so much. Let's just start with your artist roster because you've worked with some big, heavy hitters, right? Okay,
Yeah,
so
I have.
Yolanda Adams has been on, your list.
Mhm.
Jeff Majors, the jazz artist, right?
Mhm.
Karen Clark Sheard,
Mhm.
Judith Jacobs, Onisha, Mariah Carey,
Mhm.
Keith Martin, Patti
Mhm.
LaBelle, Drayvon.
Mhm.
My
Mhm.
goodness, there's just a bunch of people that you've worked with in terms of artists.
Mhm.
You, I need to. Okay, so let me mention it first of all. BET Sunday Best. I think it was season
Mhm.
2 through to season 9. Is that right?
Season 2 to yeah, I don't like so the last season I believe was season 10,
Right.
but because of the pandemic we kind of did it virtually. So it was a
Okay.
different kind of season. So but yeah, since season 2 I was a part of Sunday Best. And had an opportunity to work with a whole bunch of great artists. I always worked with Kirk Franklin from my first days when I worked with Vicky at Gospel Centric. So
Vicky
Kirk, it was like
Lataya.
a Vicky Lataya. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, because I know you know everybody, so you're calling them by first name, but first
I'm
name and
sorry. Yes.
surname.
So I did work with Vicky Latayad at Gospel Centric. She was actually how I entered into the gospel community as
Really?
in the gospel. I worked with Vicky when she started. Well, actually at Sparrow, and so I worked with her at Sparrow, and then she was in the process of starting Gospel Centric, and then I left for a while, and then I came back. She asked me to come back, so I did for like 3 years, and after Stump and God's Property album came out, I left and started my own company. And that's when I started working with Yolanda and Karen and a lot of different artists, the Williams brothers. God blessed me to work with a whole bunch of artists. And
Is that when you
so it's been a
started
blessing.
Church House Music?
And then I started Church House Music. I started the Indie Company first, which is a play on my
Right.
name and independence. So it's the ND, Neily Dickerson, and also Independent Company.
You're so
And so I
clever like
started
that.
that. Look at there. And so then I started Church House Music and I put out Ted and Sherry and they won 2 Stellars. And I put out a
Yay.
quartet called the Gospel Wonders. So it was, it's been a good run. And then I got a call. I started working in television production because I got a call from a woman who actually knew my mom, who was working on Sunday Best. And she was like, "What do you think of the show?" And I was like, "I don't really like it." And so she was like, "Well, I need you to help me market it because we don't have that many people auditioning." So I did that, and it just evolved. It continued to evolve from being the
Wow.
marketing person to becoming the talent producer, from
Yeah.
becoming the talent producer to an actual producer on the show for 7 years. So it was a great run. Loved the show. Great show. I hope that they will think to bring it back because it would still live. It's a great place for people
My goodness, it would. They
to
need
be
to bring it
seen.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, because Nyla Coffee was on Sunday Best. I actually talked to her recently, and
Okay.
she was our international contestant on the virtual episode on the last season that they did. A nice young woman from London.
Do you remember
And
someone called Kayla Richardson? Is it Kayla Richardson?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I
absolutely.
interviewed her
Mm-hmm,
recently.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I interviewed her
Kayla's a
recently.
sweet. She's what you need to, and I'm going to try to do my best to make sure you're able to interview a whole bunch of artists here because they
Okay.
don't even know the wealth and the opportunity that being able to talk to someone like you would give them. So I definitely want to hopefully be able to connect you to a lot of different people who can introduce their artists to you and introduce their artists to the international world through you because I think you are a great conduit for that.
Yeah, thank you for that, Neely. Thank you
You
so
you're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. You're
Man, I
welcome.
tell you what, I think it was 2003 or 2004 that we first met each other, and I think it was in New Orleans for
At
GMWA.
GMWA,
That's right.
yes, where it was
Yeah.
hot. Oh my God, it was
It was hot.
so hot. Woo,
Yeah.
Jesus, it was hot. New Orleans is like Sherry from Ted and Sherry one day said something that's pretty accurate. That New Orleans is a suburb of hell because it's super hot. Now I'm on my way to Vegas where it's 110.
My goodness.
So,
Take your time. Don't rush to get there.
hey, don't rush to get there. Don't rush to get there. So, but yeah, so we've done, the Lord has blessed me to be able to do a lot of things. I work with a young man named Brett. And so, kind of
Yeah.
easing towards the Gospel Top 40, me, Brett, and another woman named Linda Greenwood have been talking about we should develop a chart. We should develop a chart. And we started talking like literally in 2012, I think it was. And
Wow.
we
That
always
long
would like
ago?
have these, huh?
That long ago? 2012.
Yeah. And so we would always go, we need to do this, we need to do this. So we were trying to figure out the best way to do it. And we were thinking about doing it with college stations, but college personalities and programmers move too much because they graduate and they leave. And so you needed to get a group of panelists that would be there for the long term and who would be committed to the process. So every year we would come back and go, we need to do our chart, we need to do our chart. And so we got on the phone and we were like, hey, let's do the chart. And I said, hey, we're either going to do it or we're not. If we don't do it now, we're never going to do it. We've been talking about this for like how many ever years. And they said, okay, cool. So we put together a group of panelists, called the panelists, had a conference call with them, and it was great. They were all committed. The next night, or that same night, one of the program panelists that we had wanted to include called me and said, hey, you have no idea how on point you guys are because Billboard BDS is going away. And we were like, what? And so they got this letter that this particular chart was going away and it was only going to be media based. And so we were like, okay, that's crazy that we're having this conversation now. So we were like, okay, let's keep going. And everybody submitted their reports because this is a chart where everyone plays what they want to play, and they submit their reports to us, and we configure it all by adding up the numbers of who's where and who's in the top, whatever, and making it work. And so we put our first chart out October 7th, 2022. And we're coming up on our first year, 2023. So we're really excited about it and hope that it will be a chart that builds community for the industry, because it is a place where we're going to be doing advertising and we're going to be showing people what different events are coming up. If you have a book
Mm-hmm.
available,
Yeah.
also, I don't know if you go look at it, you as a on-air personality who needs to be serviced with music could go on and listen and get snippets of some of the songs. So as artists start to buy the space called the GT40
Yeah.
sampler snippet, radio snippet,
Mm-hmm.
they can put their song up and we'll have an on-air personality introduce the song. So it's kind of like a cool place for people to just see what's going on and to get a feel for community. There's other websites where you can get the information in the tea, like gospelflavor.com and different sites like that. But this will definitely just be for chart information. That doesn't mean we won't give some highlights of different things. Like we did a whole thing for Black Music Month where we highlighted like
Yeah.
16 different
I noticed that.
executives and on-air personalities and artists. But we don't really want to be the news place really yet. We are developing some other elements, but it's not really a news chart. It's really a news site. Gospel Flavor is if you want to know what's going on at the Stellars. Now, if somebody has a list of the things, we'll post it. But we won't be the person where you get to read, okay, the Stellars go to this thing for the Stellars. We'll be the one that shows you, that hopefully will motivate and encourage the Stellars to look at our chart to say, oh, these artists made this chart, so they need to be nominated. So that'll be a really big thing I'll be excited about.
Most definitely. So you're coming up for 1 year, Neely. In October, it'll be
Mm-hmm.
1 year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How's it going so far?
So far, so good. The panelists are really getting into it. They like it, and I'm enjoying do it. I'm really enjoying being able to put it together, being able to communicate. Like I said, with the community, seeing artists, seeing events that are coming up, and being able to say, "Hey, before we really get into monetizing this yet, we're going to gift you this," or something like that. So I love doing it and making people understand that we see you, like you just said, you don't always wag your own tail and say, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this. So it's just awesome to be able to, like, in different areas where we are, is to be able to say, hey, this person did this, and they go, wow, because we don't tell them we're going to do it. We just kind of say, hey, what's your, like, we'll ask them a question about something, and then we'll just put it up there and they'll go, oh my God, you put that up there. So it's like really cool to just be able to celebrate and champion people. And one of the things I want you to consider is potentially helping us with some international, especially in London, some artists where we can maybe spotlight every once in a while,
Okay.
or artists that's standing out and who may need to cross over or who is crossing over, because I think that would be fun, especially with the Afro beats and stuff like that
Yeah.
becoming more of an American thing. I would love to kind of
Is that
start doing those
right?
kind of things with you. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Do they love amapiano? You know the genre called amapiano?
I don't know the genre,
Not
but
fam-
if
not
you
f- not
played some,
fam- not familiar with that genre just yet.
I'm I'm
So
not yet.
amapiano, right? Amapiano is a genre that stems from out of South Africa. It's very
Hmm.
rhythmic and it is taken over the world.
So wait, I'm about to start working a record from Halal Africa, and
Yep.
they have a song called "You Know Be Man," which I love.
Mm-hmm.
The song we're gonna work is called "Carry Me Through," and the whole album is amazing. And so I hope to be one of the promotion teams here in Los Angeles that starts to introduce that into what we're hearing on our radio stations here. So I'm really excited about this. So want to definitely, like I said, stay in touch with you on all that and
We're
making sure
definitely
that
going to
we're
be working
connected.
together. Most definitely.
Okay,
I'd,
cool,
I- I'd,
cool.
I'd love to be able to be one of the on-air personalities that does a snippet as well for you. That would be
Oh,
fun.
absolutely. Oh
That would
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
fun.
What I'll do, especially like people will be like, "Oh my God, somebody from London introduced myself," because they don't know anything. They don't know anything. So what we're gonna do is make sure, like listen to the ones I'm sure you've listened to the
I
snippet to get an
have. I
idea of it.
have.
And then all you got to do, we'll send you the song, and then all you got to do is do the intro. You don't even have to send you the song. We could just send you the soundbite and put your voice over it. Now, some people really get into it and like, just send me the song and I'll do the whole thing, and they send it to us. But but basically we'll send you the song so you can hear what the song is, and then you do the intro, and then we'll make it work.
Nice one. Nice one.
I'm
So for
excited.
for
Yes, this
for
is good.
yeah, it certainly is. For the people that don't know too much about it, how can they check out the actual top 40 gospel chart? What's the address?
Gospel top 40.com. So that's gospel spelled out GOSPEL top TOP40.com.
And where are you going with this, Neely? I know you mentioned that it's coming up for 1 year and everything like that, right? But
Hmm.
what would you really, really love to achieve? Because I mean, this I see for you helps you to continually keep your finger on the pulse. You've got it on the pulse anyway. When it comes to the
Yeah.
gospel industry, there's nothing that you don't know about. But where do you see this going, like full out? Where would you love this
Oh,
to end up
full out.
being?
I see it becoming a conference. I see it becoming a Gospel Top 40 radio program. I see it
Yep.
becoming so many things. I see it becoming an award show. There's so many ways you can flip this and make it something. I see it like the country awards becoming the thing in gospel, where people will want to be like all kind of opportunities that can evolve out of it. So I'm really, like you said, I'm really excited about just making sure that we all are connected genre wise.
Yes.
And also, I don't ever want us to take out the fact that this really is a way to introduce people to Jesus. And
Most definitely.
sometimes
Most
music is the
definitely.
best way to do that.
Yeah.
Lifestyle, of course, like witnessing, of course. But sometimes a song will penetrate and you really don't even know why. And so I look forward to those kind of things happening, to songs connecting with people, to artists connecting with people on a different level. So I really want it to be something that's really big, and we'll really just connect. And the reason, like, some of our team was like, we should call it America's Gospel Top 40. And I'm like, I don't want to limit it
Nah.
to America,
Nah. Nah.
because the
Nah.
top 40, it could come from Africa, it could come from London, it could come from Italy, it could come from anywhere. If the song, and I think the world is getting smaller. So I
Yes.
think we're all able to hear, especially with the internet. Streaming is a blessing and a curse. So I think the blessing of it is that you can connect with songs and with music. So I just hope that we also are an example and also are lifters of people's spirits and souls when they feel down or something. They can come and hear. Even a snippet of a song can lift you up and you go look for the whole song. So I hope that even in this process of advertising and everybody being seen and celebrating artists in different genres and the different sounds of gospel, I hope we really celebrate the gospel message of Jesus Christ and salvation and us being saved and having this walk with Christ. I really want that to be one of the things that people get to experience as well.
I totally agree with you, 100%. 100%. I remember having a conversation with you, Neely. We were talking about
Mm-hmm.
the industry and how things have kind of waned a little bit since lockdown and pandemics and stuff like that. And you spoke to me about how you wanted to get back to the days of choirs. The
Oh,
choirs are,
choirs are big
yeah.
time.
Tell us about
Choirs are
that. Tell
coming
us your
back.
vision on that.
Yeah, choirs are big time. I don't think it's just my vision. Like so many people. So there's not really, like, gospel music is just great gospel music, but then there's different sounds of it. So there came for like the last 5 to 7 years, there's this big praise and worship move, which is great, but there wasn't a move for choirs, and choirs are really like a big sound for us. And so it was kind of like this forced kind of, oh, you got to have praise and worship with just guitars and stuff, and it's like, no, I want to double clap sometimes, and I think I want to hear soprano, alto, tenor, and I don't want it to be a pretty harmony. I want it to just be like that staccato kind of sopranos, altos,
Yep.
tenors, and we have that choir rehearsal moment. And so I think that is becoming. I think there's a shared stage for all the sounds of gospel music. And I think choirs had kind of gotten pushed to the back, like we kind of see in churches when you see now. But I don't think that they need to be pushed to this back. We all can stand beside each other. So you have a quartet, you have a gospel choir, you have a small chorale, you have a praise and worship team, you have a solo artist, you have a group, male group, female group, you have all of these genres that are all lifting up the same name, and that's Jesus. So that's what I'm hoping that we'll continue to see with all genres, especially as choirs come back. Bishop Hezekiah Walker's whole label is to celebrate choirs, and he's only signed choir leaders. So I'm excited about it.
I'm excited too. I'm excited too. Neela, thank you for your time. We could go on
Thank
and
you,
on.
thank
We could
you.
go on and on
We
forever. Let
could,
me
but I
just.
gotta hit the road.
I
I
know
gotta hit
you've
the
got to,
road.
but let me just end with this. Let me just end with this because when I did this research on you, right, I was so astounded by the list of some of my favorite movies that I've just
Oh.
discovered that you have
Mm-hmm.
worked on. Okay, so let me quickly
Mm-hmm.
run through the list. So, Freedom Writers,
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
Honeymooners, Coach
Yes.
Carter, right? Now, that was
Yes.
Samuel
Mm-hmm.
Jackson, all right? The
Yes.
Nativity Story, 12 Years a
Yes.
Slave, Prince
Mm-hmm.
of Egypt, the soundtrack he worked on. You worked on the gospel soundtrack, Fighting Temptations soundtrack. Now, Fighting Temptations, let me pause for a minute. When Fighting Temptations came out, you invited me to the premiere in America.
Mm-hmm.
It was in a
Mm-hmm.
theater, right? Do you remember that?
And we were in, I don't remember the city we were in, but it was at GMWA. We rented out a whole theater.
You guys rented the theater
And
out and invited all the
uh-huh.
announcers.
I did, and then the same lady who hired me to work on the Sunday Best is the same lady who hired me to work on the Fighting Temptations.
My
So we
goodness.
did that, and it was so fun. That movie and what the gospel marketing effort did for that movie, it stayed at like number 1 for 3 weeks.
That's right, because you had Cuba Gooding
Yep,
Jr.
it
in
was
that movie and Beyonce, no
Beyonce.
less. My
But
goodness.
that was before she was Beyonce. She was
That was
Beyonce,
before
but she wasn't Beyonce. You know what I
Beyonce.
mean? But it was great. It was a great time. It was
I
really fun.
know.
Montel
I
Jordan is
know.
in that movie.
I was like, I'm sitting in the
Um.
theater, right? I'm sitting in the theater, right,
Mhm.
Neely, and I'm like, somebody pinch me because I can't believe that I'm sitting in this place with all these announcers,
Yeah.
and it was brilliant.
Mhm.
You went on to do Medea's family reunion, Tyler Perry
Mm-hmm.
Studios Lionsgate recently, Daddy's Little Girl, Tyler Perry Studios Lionsgate recently, and the Star soundtrack recently. My good
Mm-hmm.
Neely, people must be banging down your door to get to you. What's
You know what? It's
cracking?
been a blessing. It's been a blessing to be able to be a go-to person for movies and films and
Yeah,
soundtracks, and to make sure that I think a lot of times movies don't do well because the marketing effort and the spotlight isn't, the audience isn't invited. And so what happens is you have a movie and they say, "Oh, it won't do well." Well, if you don't invite me, it won't. But if you invite me and let me know that we're here and this movie is coming out, then I'll come see it. So that's one of the things that we've tried to do with anytime we work in something. We try to make sure we invite the audience to come see the movie that's for them. So hopefully we'll be able to do some new stuff in the future. I'm excited. Well,
yeah.
everybody's on strike now, but hopefully in the near future we'll be able to do something again. So yeah,
Neely, thank you so
praise
much
God,
for
and it's
your
been a
time.
blessing.
It
Thank you
really
so
has.
much. I appreciate this. Look forward to seeing it, and look forward to keeping you posted and connected on Gospel Top 40. You have a
Most
wonderful
definitely.
rest of your weekend.
And you too, Neely. Take care. Drive safely
Thank
for me,
you.
won't you?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ask the Lord to redeem the time and get me there earlier than I planned.
All right, I'm going to do my outro now. So stay where you are. Stay where you are.
Okay.
So there you go. My guest on the program is Neily Dickerson, and I love that lady so much. She's such great fun. I hope you enjoyed the interview today, and if you did, please consider subscribing, liking the channel, and I will catch up with you again real soon. Take care now.